How to build and ensure integrity of carbon credits. Applying the principles of carbon credit integrity to Vietnam requires a tailored approach that aligns with the country's unique environmental and regulatory context. Vietnam can start by developing national carbon credit standards that reflect its specific needs, particularly in prioritized sectors like agriculture, forestry, and energy. Establishing sector-specific baselines and robust monitoring, reporting, and verification (MRV) systems is essential for ensuring that emissions reductions are real and measurable. The government should implement a national carbon credit registry to prevent double counting, ensuring transparency and public access to data. Long-term commitments and buffer pools can help guarantee the permanence of carbon credits, particularly in projects like reforestation. Additionally, comprehensive land use planning is crucial to mitigate leakage, preventing the displacement of emissions-causing activities. By engaging local communities, promoting transparency, and enforcing strict regulatory compliance, Vietnam can build public trust and establish itself as a credible participant in the global carbon market, contributing meaningfully to climate change mitigation efforts. 1. Adopt national standards aligned with international frameworks. Vietnam should establish its own carbon credit standards, drawing from internationally recognized frameworks like the Verified Carbon Standard, VCS, or the Clean Development Mechanism, CDM, under the Kyoto Protocol. These standards should be adapted to Vietnam's unique environmental conditions, such as its tropical forests, agricultural practices, and industrial sectors. The government could also collaborate with international organizations to ensure these standards meet global expectations while addressing local needs. 2. Develop sector-specific baselines. Given Vietnam's diverse economy, it's crucial to develop sector-specific baselines for measuring emissions reductions. For example, baselines for the forestry sector would differ from those for manufacturing or energy. Vietnam's Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, MONRA, could lead this effort, working with experts to ensure that the baselines accurately reflect the potential for emissions reductions in each sector, particularly in prioritized areas like agriculture, forestry, fishery, and energy. 3. Ensure additionality in local projects. Projects in Vietnam must demonstrate additionality, ensuring that the carbon credits generated represent real reductions beyond what would have occurred without the project. For instance, in reforestation projects, this could mean protecting areas that are at risk of deforestation or planting trees in degraded lands where natural regeneration is unlikely. For industrial projects, additionality might involve adopting cutting-edge technologies that reduce emissions beyond current regulatory requirements. 4. Implement rigorous MRV systems. Vietnam should establish robust monitoring, reporting, and verification (MRV) systems tailored to its local context. This could involve using satellite technology to monitor forest cover, employing IoT devices in industrial settings to track emissions, and conducting regular field inspections. Independent verification should be carried out by accredited third-party organizations to ensure the credibility of reported emissions reductions. The government can facilitate this by setting up a national MRV framework that aligns with international practices while considering local conditions. 5. Address double counting through national registry. To avoid double counting, Vietnam should establish a national carbon credit registry, integrated with existing international systems. This registry would track the issuance, transfer, and retirement of carbon credits, ensuring transparency and preventing the same reductions from being claimed more than once. The registry should be publicly accessible, allowing stakeholders to verify the status of carbon credits and enhancing trust in the system. 6. Ensure permanence through long-term commitments. In sectors like forestry, where permanence is a significant concern, Vietnam can establish buffer pools of carbon credits as insurance against potential reversals, such as deforestation due to natural disasters or economic pressures. Long-term monitoring and enforcement mechanisms should be in place to ensure that projects continue to deliver emissions reductions over time. This could involve community-based forest management programs that engage local populations in the long-term stewardship of forests. 7. Mitigate leakage. To prevent leakage, Vietnam should implement comprehensive land use planning that considers the potential displacement of activities causing emissions. For example, if a reforestation project is established in one area, efforts should be made to ensure that deforestation pressures do not simply move to another region. Integrated policies that address the root causes of deforestation or industrial emissions are essential. 8. Promote transparency in stakeholder engagement. Transparency can be promoted by making project data, methodologies, and verification reports publicly available. Vietnam's government could create platforms for public access to information on carbon credit projects, encouraging scrutiny and feedback from both local and international stakeholders. Involving local communities and businesses in the design and implementation of projects is crucial for ensuring their success and acceptance. 9. Regular audits and continuous improvement. Vietnam should conduct regular audits of carbon credit projects to assess their performance and make necessary adjustments. This could be supported by setting up a national auditing body that works in collaboration with international partners to apply best practices. Continuous improvement should be a key focus, with projects being adapted over time to incorporate new scientific findings and technological advancements. 10. Strengthen regulatory compliance and oversight. The Vietnamese government, through MONRA and other relevant agencies, should establish clear regulations and oversight mechanisms for carbon credit projects. This includes setting penalties for non-compliance and ensuring that fraudulent activities are swiftly addressed. Cross-border cooperation with neighboring countries and international organizations can also help in maintaining the integrity of carbon credits. 11. Building public trust. To build public trust in carbon credits, the Vietnamese government should invest in education and awareness campaigns, explaining how carbon credits contribute to climate goals and the benefits they bring to the economy and environment. Collaborating with respected environmental NGOs and international bodies to endorse Vietnam's carbon credit projects can also enhance their credibility on the global stage. Building and ensuring the integrity of carbon credits involves a multifaceted approach that begins with establishing robust standards and methodologies to guide the creation and verification of these credits. This starts with the development of clear and internationally recognized standards, such as the Verified Carbon Standard, VCS, or Gold Standard, which provide the necessary frameworks for consistency and reliability in carbon credit generation. A critical aspect of this process is the accurate establishment of baselines, which serve as the reference point for measuring emissions reductions. These baselines must be scientifically rigorous and based on reliable data to ensure that the reductions claimed are real. Equally important is the concept of additionality, which ensures that the carbon credits represent emissions reductions that would not have occurred in the absence of the project, thereby guaranteeing that the credits are truly contributing to climate goals. To further enhance credibility, monitoring, reporting, and verification, MRV, systems are employed, involving continuous monitoring, transparent reporting, and independent third-party verification to validate the emissions reductions. These systems are crucial in maintaining the accuracy and transparency of carbon credits. Moreover, to prevent double counting, a scenario where the same emissions reduction is claimed more than once, carbon credits are assigned unique identifiers and tracked through reliable registry systems from issuance to retirement. Ensuring the permanence of emissions reductions is another key challenge, particularly for projects like reforestation, where the long-term maintenance of carbon sequestration must be guaranteed. This is often managed through buffer pools that provide insurance against potential reversals. Addressing leakage, where emissions reductions in one area may lead to increased emissions elsewhere, is also essential, requiring thorough assessments and mitigation strategies such as integrated land use planning. Transparency and stakeholder engagement are vital throughout the process, with public disclosure of project details and methodologies helping to build trust, and active involvement of local communities ensuring broader acceptance and reducing the risk of project failure. Regular audits and updates allow for continuous improvement and adaptation to changing conditions, while government oversight and international cooperation provide the regulatory backbone needed to enforce compliance and combat fraudulent activities. Ultimately, building public trust through education, awareness, and endorsements from credible environmental organizations is essential in maintaining the perceived integrity of carbon credits, ensuring they continue to play a meaningful role in global efforts to mitigate climate change. 1. Establishing robust standards and methodologies. Use internationally recognized standards like the Verified Carbon Standard, VCS, or Gold Standard to ensure consistency and reliability. Accurately determine the baseline scenario to measure emissions reductions against. This requires rigorous data collection and scientific methodologies. Ensure that carbon credits represent reductions that wouldn't have occurred without the project. This ensures that the credits are truly additional and not just accounting for reductions that would have happened anyway. 2. Monitoring, reporting, and verification, MRV, implement continuous monitoring of the project to track emissions reductions. This can involve technologies like satellite monitoring, IoT devices, and on-the-ground inspections. Maintain transparent and regular reporting of emissions reductions, ensuring data is accessible and understandable. Engage third-party auditors to verify the reported emissions reductions. This adds a layer of credibility and reduces the risk of errors or fraud. Assign unique identifiers to each carbon credit to prevent the same reduction from being claimed multiple times. Use reliable carbon credit registries, e.g., Gold Standard Registry, American Carbon Registry, to track credits from issuance to retirement, ensuring transparency and preventing double counting. 4. Ensuring permanence. Projects must demonstrate that emissions reductions are permanent. For example, reforestation projects should ensure that trees are not cut down, or that alternative measures are in place to maintain carbon sequestration. Create buffer pools of credits to cover potential reversals, e.g., forest fires in reforestation projects. This acts as insurance to maintain the integrity of the overall credit system. 5. Addressing leakage. Evaluate whether emissions reductions in one area might lead to increased emissions elsewhere. For example, a forest protection project should assess whether deforestation might shift to another area. Implement strategies to minimize leakage, such as integrated land use planning or expanding project boundaries. 6. Transparency and stakeholder engagement. Make project details, methodologies, and verification reports publicly available to build trust and allow for external scrutiny. Engage local communities and stakeholders in project design and implementation to ensure local acceptance and mitigate risks associated with project failure. 7. Regular audits and updates. Regularly audit projects to identify potential improvements in methodology and practices. Adjust standards and methodologies as scientific understanding and technology evolve. Allow for project modifications if conditions change, ensuring the integrity of credits over the project's lifetime. 8. Regulatory compliance and oversight. National and international regulatory bodies should enforce compliance with carbon credit standards and penalize fraudulent activities. International cooperation is essential to ensure that carbon credits are recognized and respected across different jurisdictions. 9. Building public trust. Educate the public and investors about carbon credits, emphasizing the importance of integrity in achieving climate goals. Achieve endorsements from credible environmental organizations to enhance the perceived integrity of the credits.